No, it is.
That's the position.
It is. There's so, and Jan Krzysztof very, very disappointed. You can see it
wow.
in his face, because
He could play this f5 so many times.
yeah, he didn't play f5 himself, which I found very strange. And I think we have something like this on the board. And Magnus has now got 3 pawns and a knight for a rook, which is obviously way too much material. Not to mention, passed pawns everywhere. And Magnus now clearly on course to win this game. And in fact, it looks as though there's been a transition to a rook ending where Magnus is just going to be a lot of pawns up. So we'll get the moves coming through in a minute. You can see in the body language as well, Jan Krzysztof.
Yeah, he's not happy. He's shaking his head. Was not easy to play that position when White has risk-free position, but he could play more precisely.
Oh, did he play g4 check here? Oh, rook d8, he can play g4 check. Yes, Black has got 2 passed pawns, but Magnus is going to have 4 passed pawns, and these pawns are very, very slow in comparison. And Magnus is just going to take this home. This is just going to be an easy win. Rook c6, rook b6, rook g8 check. Okay, the king will come back. I don't see how Jan Krzysztof can ever dream of saving this.
Yep. No, there are too many pawns on the queen side for White, and the only hope for Black is the e pawn.
Oh, okay. Well, he's going
F1.
for it. He's going with his pawns, and what else is there to do? I mean, you feel as though he's too slow, but he has got some practical chances at least. Magnus now advancing the a pawn. But are these pawns too slow? I guess you've just got to go f4 here. What else can you do? But it looks just too slow. It looks
10 seconds, 9, 8,
7, 6,
7, 6,
5, 4.
He will not make a move. No, he
Yeah,
made
he will.
move on the 3 seconds.
Yeah, king f4. And Magnus now, I mean, obviously in full control and just making sure, and he plays the move rook e6, rook g7, preventing the pawn moving, but feels way too late. The pawns... Rook e6 was played to prevent e3 check. That was very clever, by the way. Now, why can't Magnus just push those pawns? I see zero reason why. He can push the h pawn, he can push the b pawn, he can push the c pawn. Just push, push, push. I don't see checks for the black rook. Maybe the rook will come to g3, but he does go with c5 in the end. 19 seconds for Jan Krzysztof. I think it's his only chance to go rook g3. Rook d7. Now rook d6. This is very clever by Magnus. He uses the c-pawn in order to blockade one of the other routes for the rook. The rook has to go back to g7. And now he can probably start advancing the b-pawn, assuming, or he drops back with the rook. Also very plausible. And Jan Krzysztof understanding he's probably out of ideas here. Okay, king e5. Okay, he manages to get some pawns going, but is it too little too late? Magnus with plenty of time on the clock. a7, e3 check. The king will probably go to...
f1 maybe?
Maybe f1, yeah, nice move, all the way back. And yeah, Magnus has got the rook behind the pawn.
It's impossible to stop a pawn now.
Yeah, the pawns are too slow. This is actually resigns.
Yeah.
This is over. I don't see right. Yeah.
There is like after f3.
Just make a queen.
Yeah, just a queen.
Yeah, and this is going to be over, and that's it. Magnus Carlsen causing the home fans to be rather upset with